I'm single, ladies and gentlemen. It's a choice thing, definitely. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I'm lanky, 6'3", ginger, and look slightly like Wallace from Wallace and Gromit when I smile. Thanks. When I say it's a choice, I do genuinely mean that. It's because of the place I come from, and all the girls there are just horrible, really. They've got this obsession with foundation, and it's appalling. To be quite honest, they're the kind of girls that put on several inches of makeup to the point of where it takes Time Team to get to their actual face. I'm just not into that. See a couple of worried faces kind of looking at me going, am I that girl? And I've got a simple test for you. Just take your finger, drag it down the side of your face, and if your hand hits the floor from the weight of the shit that just came off your face, you're that girl. I say that because my school was full of those girls. I was chatting to a girl at my school, and a news item came on. It was about Portsmouth. She asked me, Portsmouth, is that in a foreign country? Now I couldn't resist that. I said, yes. It's off the coast of Switzerland. That's a slow burner. And it borders Atlantis. Now the sad fact about that story is, ladies and gentlemen, she believed me. And I should have seen that coming, however. This is also the same girl that believed that Rio de Janeiro was a footballer and that Guatemala was a type of melon. So there wasn't much hope there. But Portsmouth is an absolute trench of idiocy. We discovered this during recent riots there in a place called Paulsgrove. If I had to liken Paulsgrove to a place in Edinburgh, it would be like the shitty bit. Glasgow. But yeah, they had these riots, and when asked, why are you rioting? The guy just turned around and went, well, there's a fucking paedophile! Not quite sure why a hard man is a turkey mixed with Ross Kemp. That's how I see it in my mind. And the news crew said, well, how do you know? And the fella said, well, he's got a sign, hasn't he? Doesn't sound like something a paedophile would do. But we'll check anyway. And so, whilst they were all kicking in bins, you know, setting fire to cars and smashing in windows and doors and causing tens of pounds worth of damage, the news crew went down there. They had a look. Sure enough, there was a sign. And it said, Dr. M. Morris, paediatrician. Oh yeah, that's the kind of place I come from. But recently I've decided to solve global terrorism, and I believe I can do that by myself. I believe this because I saw a man who blew himself up in Moscow. He killed himself, which is a good start for a suicide bomber, I feel. But he injured 15 people, and I wondered how. And so I had a look, and I did some investigation. And it turned out this man had decided to blow himself up in a Volvo. If I were to be blowing myself up, I wouldn't pick a car with an internationally renowned safety record. It's just a personal preference of mine. So clearly, the problem is he needs the bits of the car to go everywhere. He needs an old Skoda. But that's got another problem. The biggest problem amongst them being the fact he may never get to his destination. And I imagine that to be quite an awkward call to the RAC. You know that promise you make about being here in an hour? Could you be here inside the next 29 minutes and 28, 27, 26? So clearly reliability is a key issue. What's more reliable than German engineering? However, that comes with the same problem as the Skoda. You may never get to your destination. Because, as history has told us, things built in Germany tend to go through Poland really well. But then struggle when they get to Russia and have to turn back. So you've got the same issue. And I thought about this and I thought, well, it's your last ever journey. You have 72 virgins to impress. You may as well blow yourself up in a Ferrari. Now I said that in Portsmouth, and a man about 4 rows back just stood up and shouted at me, "Nah, wouldn't work, mate." So I said, "Why wouldn't it work?" And he said, "Wouldn't get the insurance." On reflection, I don't think he quite understood. But the Americans arrested his co-conspirator, the bomber, not the heckler. That would have been weird. But they arrested him and said, "We have proof he was planning an imminent attack on the United States." And I wondered, how did they get that? And I figured a surefire way of finding out if someone was planning an imminent attack. All you need to do is walk into his kitchen, open his fridge, and if he has long life milk sat there, he's not planning anything soon. Nobody in the history of mankind has decided that they're going to blow themselves up on a Sunday, and on Thursday has walked into Tesco's and wanted to buy tinned goods. But the Americans also managed to kill Bin Laden this year. Only took them 11 years, didn't it? I could have done it in half an hour given the right tools. And I'll tell you how. All they needed to do was track back the one person who was still buying blank VHS tapes. Found him in minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the end of my set, but basically in the last 10 or so minutes, we've learnt that Portsmouth is full of mindless violence, illiteracy and stupidity, and that terrorism can be prevented through simple common sense. Now, I don't know about you, but I challenge you to find any other show in Edinburgh that will give you that kind of public information for £3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I've been Joe.